I'm gonna talk about culture. How Mexican culture is one of the best cultures in the world. It's really creative and a really strong culture. First news is about Movimiento Naranja, about the catchy song of a political campaign that has been sound everywhere. Movimiento Naranja is a catchy song sung by Yuawi, a 9-year-old Mexican boy who has already exceeded 24 million views on YouTube. This issue belonged to the electoral spot on the Movimiento Ciudadano Party and has become the viral video of the moment. My next news is about indigenous art, on how they made sculptures with American football balls. That will be in exhibition in the Indigenous Museum from February 1. This exhibition shows a lot of the creativity Mexicans have, and how Mexicans can create incredible things with many materials. My next news is about Guillermo del Toro and The Form of Water devastates in praises of the critic. The Mexican filmmaker wins another award for the Best Director and Strength as Oscar favorite. Guillermo del Toro has conquered Hollywood with a cinema that mixes terror, fantasy, and children's universe. Personally, I love him. He has made such an example to the world about how Mexicans are, creative and people who work hard. He shows some of our culture by showing how we are. And also, he makes an example to Mexican people of how it doesn't matter where you're from, you can reach the stars. The next news is about rescue of the Mexican cacao. The festival Vivo Cacao, from the tree to the chocolate, seeks to spread and increase the use of this fruit in the gourmet kitchen. Fernel Bobadilla, from the master cocoa maker Amo Cacao, recognizes that leading cocoa production internationally is a dream that will require time and effort, and that's why it has given birth to the festival Vivo Cacao, from tree to chocolate, the first of its kind in Guadalajara and Western Mexico. The festival seeks to spread the culture of cacao, reinsert and increase its use not only in traditional chocolate, but take it to the gourmet dishes of the city. The cacao has been part of our culture for a really long time. We have used it as money because it was seen as a food of the gods. Without cacao, there wouldn't be coffee or chocolate. So I think we made the world a better place. The next news is about a museum made in honor of Pedro Infante. The museum in Sinaloa was inaugurated on the centenary of his birth, as one of the events to commemorate the centenary of the birth of Pedro Infante. The Pedro Infante Museum was inaugurated in honor of the Sinaloan idol, considered one of the most important exponents of the vernacular music in Mexico. Pedro Infante was a great person who has been universally recognized. This museum is a good idea for the new generations and will set an example of improvement and a work of a simple man who, by his dedication, became a great national idol. The next news is about an exhibit Mayan identity in the Carnival of Tenejapa. Chiapas will carry out one of the oldest festivals, millenary tradition to discover an identity that is among the mountains of the Sierra Madre of Chiapas, in the municipal of Tenejapa. Tesla Mayan Indians inhabit that, despite the passage of time and modernity, maintain their identity, culture, and customs. They also use the Mayan calendar. The Carnival of Tenejapa has its special beauty and symbolism. It is one of the most significant religious ceremonies that begins before the celebration of liturgical calendar. This makes me really happy because Mexico has a good number of indigenous groups of which are not recognized, and lots have incredible traditions that contribute to the cultural richness of Mexico, and by celebrating them, this makes them stay alive. The next news is about the Cultural Carnival in Veracruz, with a film marathon, the opening of a collective exhibition, a thematic talk, and a mask workshop. The Carnival of Veracruz is the most important party of the port of the headquarters of Veracruz Institute of Culture. In this carnival, a man named Honorato has participated for 60 years. Every year participates with allegoric cars, dance groups, and also he supports a lot with a school of ballet that he made. This man is a great inspiration because he has supported Mexican culture a lot by participating in this incredible carnival that makes Mexican traditions remain part of our lives. The next news is Mozart revives and teaches at school in Tláhuac. Children are thrilled to see the genius of Salzburg, who was born 262 years ago. The pianist, Alex Garcia's tour, has visited more than 2,000 schools in Mexico and Argentina to promote artistic education. Alex dresses like Mozart and plays some of his pieces in front of all the children, who are left with their mouths open, looking at this character. With his baton in hand, Mozart guides the hypnotized children and makes the whole audience sing, making the classical music fun and interesting. This idea is very creative because you learn from an important character in history of music, making children see the funny and interesting side of music and its history. This is not from Mexican culture, but from culture in general. And I really like the idea which helped Mexican children get interested in music, and that idea could be used to make children and adults interested in the Mexican culture. The next news is about an exhibition on Mexico in Paris. The exhibition is called Carnet du Mexique, a French look on Mexico City. It brings together a total of 66 paintings made with the techniques of watercolor, ink, and acrylic, and a comic tone, made by the French artist Nicolas de Renzy. I think this is a really good idea for the world to see how Mexico really is, or to understand a bit how we live, since Mexico cannot be explained so easily, as the painter Crazy explained that to draw Mexico you needed more than 20 books, for the size of a place and the richness it has. As we saw in all this news, Mexico has a really rich culture, from its people to its traditions, that have changed the world. Let's embrace it and continue doing these amazing traditions to keep this culture alive.